Hey, what's up, everybody? Bogey M Monster here, along with Stevie B, and welcome to Why the Fascination, or WTF as we like to call it.
Hello, everybody.
Good to see everybody. Don't adjust your dials. Yes, it is pink. This is a reminder. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so in honor of that, I'm wearing pink bandana.
And yeah, we didn't coordinate, huh?
No, obviously not. But yeah, cancer is a terrible thing, and if you can avoid it, ladies and gentlemen, because this can affect you too, get checked out. I want you around as long as possible.
Indeed.
So, Nez Lover, how are you? LIB, what's up?
I have not even looked at chat yet.
Hey, Val.
Hi, everybody.
Ricky.
I'll catch up.
What's up? Hey, Sharon. Raymond.
Mark Livewire, good to see you.
Pine Island Bigfoot says it all. Save the boobies.
Right.
What's up, Jeff? Sean Patterson, what's going on? Mr. Hand. What's up, Rex?
Judy Wheeler, how you doing?
Chiro, good to see you. Chiro sounds. Judy.
What it do, LIB? What it do?
Greetings from South Carolina. What's up, Danny? Yeah, it's kind of weird knowing what's going to happen. Like, normally we come on, it's complete, I have no clue what's going on. And my phone dinged before, and it's like, oh, notification. It's this. Mike's going live. Oh, cool. Let me check it out. And I was a minute or two late. I felt like I spoiled something, like a surprise.
Right.
I felt bad.
It's like, oops.
But yeah, you planned to do a room raid. So welcome, everybody. If you're new, great to see you.
Yes.
Lulu Bell, how are you?
Lulu, how you doing?
Lulu.
Blue Crossroads. Someone is standing on my foot. I
The
wouldn't
girl
know.
on her gong, what's up? What?
I said I wouldn't know. If it were me, I wouldn't know. Blue Crossroads said someone is standing on my foot.
Oh.
I was just commenting. If it were me, I wouldn't know.
This is true.
Stand away.
I guess you'd have to explain that.
Well,
for you guys, what she's talking about is she's not going to feel it if you're standing on her foot because she has two prosthetic legs. Below the knee is prosthetic. Both legs. Yeah. So she wouldn't feel it.
no, not a bit.
Just felt we should explain that.
I said it out loud and I was thinking it and kind of laughed to myself, but you heard me. So I had to repeat it.
And if you see us look up, like right now, we're looking at each other because we sit across from one another.
Yep. Yeah.
I need to raise these at the table or the computer so we're looking.
The cameras
like
more
eye level up here. We'll be typing like this, but
right. Well, I don't type on there, so it wouldn't be a terrible thing. I should do that on my side.
yeah, I had it a little higher, and then it was wobbly, so I was like, nah. And I was like, why don't we just raise the table?
We didn't notice it until the other night. We went back to look at something on the show. We
Let me
hardly
see,
ever
'cause
do that.
We're looking at each
We
other.
never
It's
do
like
that.
we're looking
And
up.
yeah, we both kind of cracked up. And it's like, oh God, how long has that been going on?
Good and Zotto, what's up?
Tina G, how you doing?
Hi, Tina. I know I'm missing some people. Let me scroll back up.
I still haven't wholeheartedly
Say
paid
hi to
attention
anybody.
to chat yet.
I'm just looking at names. I haven't read any yet. I haven't read a single
Haven't read
comment
anything.
except one.
Hey Val. Elena, good to see you.
So for those of you, Midwest, what's up? For those of you who are new and have, don't know what we do,
Don't know what's
join the
going
club.
on.
And what I do is I'll put the link in chat, like right now. Link is in chat, so anybody can click on the link. Come on, you got a story to tell. You just want to hang out, bullshit, say hi, introduce yourself. Click on that link, follow the directions. It's pretty simple. If you don't want to be on camera, there's a stop camera button on the bottom. Just click on that, and you don't have to be on camera.
Nope.
All they ask is that when you do come on StreamYard, turn off YouTube in the background because it gets this nasty echo and
It hurts my head.
I think
hurts
that
my
damn is
brain.
too tight because I'm getting a friggin' headache.
Loosen it up. Quit squeezing your
As soon as
brain.
you said it hurts my head, I was like, yeah, I'm getting a headache.
No, that sound, that echo, it just.
Yeah, no, and especially when, like, if her and I do it, because we're so close, and if she didn't turn off her microphone and turn down her, well, the volume's coming through my speakers, it would just, it's the weirdest. The dogs get all freaked out. That's how weird it sounds.
We share a mic and we share the audio, basically, because everything on my side I have shut off.
Basically, all she's using is camera.
That's it.
That's it. You're not even.
No, I use my phone to type in chat.
Yeah, for chat.
Yeah. So if you see me looking down, that's pretty much it. It's right there.
And yeah, so we just we hang out and talk about whatever. It's not necessarily cryptic or Bigfoot or whatever. It's usually not. The other day it was cool to talk about it though.
Sean Patterson, how you doing? Thank you. I don't always feel that way.
I'll try to catch up a little bit and see what they're talking about.
He was just saying that I'm a warrior. He's awfully kind.
Oh, Nez did a painting.
Oh, I want to see it.
I'm sure he'll show up. Dogman, UK.
Yeah, I'm sure. Susie B.
No, it's an
How you
excuse.
doing?
Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
We can wait till he gets here. Susie B, how's it going? Oh, right on. Yeah, nothing really new at this end. Ever since we moved in, or before we moved in, right behind the house is the lake, but there's been a sailboat there, moored to the wall. And the boat's not the problem. Okay. There were people coming and going that didn't belong here, that were trespassing on my property, my neighbor's property, just to get to this boat. The reason it's there is somebody lived in the park, moved, and didn't have a trailer for this sailboat and kind of sold it to somebody in the park who really shouldn't have bought it because they kind of couldn't do anything with it. So they sold it to somebody else for $1 or whatever they sold it for. And nobody can afford to do anything with it. So they started using it as almost a shelter, like a homeless shelter or whatever they were doing on it.
They were living on it. Or trying to.
Trying to. But now everybody's been threatened that they'll be trespassed, so no one's been around. The boat's here, but
it's been abandoned.
It's been abandoned. It's not even registered, but it's
since probably the end of July. It's been abandoned.
So somebody decided it'd be a good idea to cut it loose. Well, it's not a good idea.
No.
The wind blew it back down the wall, then it back up, and then back, and then now it's sitting outside my door.
Wake up, it's right outside
it's
the
like
window.
It's right there.
Yeah.
And it's a 22. I don't know. It's
a big sailboat.
It's a good sized sailboat. It doesn't have a mast on it. The mast is laying across the deck. There's crap all over the place stacked on it.
And trash all in the water because of it.
Yeah. So now it's like It's not even tied up. It's just blowing against the wall.
And it's right
And
there.
it's stuck because it's shallow there. So
Right there.
I don't know what to do about this boat.
Police have been called several times. They've been out here several times.
You know, the people that kind of pushed it off and, you know, it wasn't going to solve it. It wasn't, you know, you're creating a hazard. You know,
they pulled what anchor was in there.
Threw it on the deck and just pushed the boat off.
Threw it on the deck.
But
it was like slam.
You got 2 acres of weeds here, basically.
Yeah.
It would take a lot for it to get free and out of the weeds and into the lake.
It takes a lot for me to bring a bass in those weeds. And, you know, not a huge one either. So yeah, they were stupid in doing that because they were creating a hazard. So if the boat's still sitting right where it is, I'm going to tie it up tomorrow. Fuck it, we'll figure it out. It doesn't need to be floating around creating a hazard. It's just funny. It's right outside my door. Yeah, right there.
Hey guys,
how's it going, man?
Hey.
How you been?
well, I've been all right. Been
Good
kind of busy
stuff.
lately.
Mike?
I'm working.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, hauling.
What are you doing?
Driving truck, hauling sugar beets from piling grounds locally to the plant in Tabor.
Well, be careful out there.
Right.
Oh yeah, I had something strange happen a couple of weeks ago.
Really?
I drive at night. I was pretty tired, and I usually watch the ditches on the side of the highway when I'm driving. And I was just coming into Burdett from the piling ground. I think I was coming into Burdett. Anyway, something tall and dark was standing in the ditch, and about 2 seconds later, gravel hit my truck.
Wow.
Rocks hit the truck. And that is, I told one of the drivers about it later. And he said, "That's fucking weird, man."
Yeah.
Said, "I don't think that's ever happened to me." And I've talked to a couple other drivers, and they said, "Oh, you're imagining things," and "No, that's never happened to me." And I said, "Well, whatever." But yeah,
You're in Canada. What area?
I'm in southern Alberta.
Okay.
Weird time zone.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right.
Was it
We're
like
an hour ahead.
30? What is it?
I don't know. Just
It's like
after 7 here.
4 minutes or something. It's weird. It's
It's after 7, you said?
Yeah, just after 7:14. We're on Mountain Standard Time here.
Yeah, we're 9:14.
Plus daylight savings time. Goddamn phone. Oh, here we go.
So how you doing, Mike? Caught him with his mic.
All right.
Speaking of weird.
Speaking of weird.
Yeah.
Enter Mike.
Anyway, just thought I'd pass on that story. And somebody asked a question earlier about have any loggers had any encounters. I've heard of 1 or 2 daytime encounters online, but I can't remember where I heard it. Well, they saw something just lately. I think it was on Sasquatch Chronicles, maybe. Somebody was, or maybe it was Steve talking about it. They were somebody was going fishing with their kid, and they were standing on the road, and there were some loggers looking up the mountain, and they had a look, and they could see something big and black scaling a cliff or a steep incline. And the loggers said to the guy, "Well, what do you think that was?" The guy was saying, "Oh, looks like a Bigfoot to me." So, something like that. But I don't know about being run out.
There's so many stories.
Yeah, there's lots of stories, that's for sure.
No, that's a great story, though, that you just told about yourself, seeing that on the side of the road. You know what you saw.
Right.
Well, I didn't see a face or anything, but it was black. It was tall and black. It was standing in the ditch. And as I drove by, I thought, fuck, that's weird. And then all of a sudden, something hit the back of the cab of the truck as I'm going by, and I thought, holy crap. Deer don't do that. coyotes can't do that.
No.
What do you think it did? Like scooped up gravel and like threw it at the back?
Chucked it.
Tucked it at the truck.
Yeah.
But who knows?
It chucked the truck.
Yeah.
Miss Still says, "Here's a can opener coming up and open up a can of worms."
Well,
Right?
that's the link I clicked on. I figured I got a can of worms.
Good to see you, Miss Dell. Thank you for that. Alan, how are you doing?
Grasshopper.
Guys,
Well, I suppose I better go.
oh, that's up to you.
Yeah,
Don't
that's all
rush.
the story I
Don't
have
rush.
for you. So.
It's good to see you,
It
Murray.
is good to see you.
It's been a while.
We got to keep in touch.
Just sitting here in the dark.
Murray's another one of those people that's been around forever,
Yep.
Oh.
like from the beginning.
He's an OG.
Oh God. Oh God. It's Murray.
That was perfect.
It works.
I miss you, Murray.
Well, I've been around. Just busy.
Yeah, I know you've been.
Yeah.
I see you every now and then.
Yeah, we chat.
Yeah.
That's funny because you see, kind of it's kind of cyclic because you'll see all of a sudden at once you'll see like a lot of people like old people that haven't been around in a long time just pop in.
Livewire.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mark from Livewire.
Yeah.
You know, that was
Mark Copeland.
very cool to see him.
Oh, missed that one.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, he came on, told the story.
updated basically.
Yeah, it was an update of
How it all
panned out, basically.
Oh.
Shit he had gotten in trouble for, but you can go check it out. It's probably 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So 4 shows ago.
Yeah,
Oh,
that guy had some real strange.
I don't think it was that long ago.
2 weeks ago. It was about 4
4
shows ago.
Yeah, it was about 4 shows ago.
Okay.
Well, last time was okay. Tyler at Flat Rock, and maybe you're maybe. Yeah.
I'll go back and have a look sometime.
I know. Hey, that's cool.
He's got a flow chart in the closet.
Right.
He's like,
I see him look to the left.
when he is that.
Uh-huh.
He's probably got the name and addresses of my last 10 subs.
Think only 10?
It's like, no.
He says, y'all are freaking me out.
I always say, don't ask questions you don't know the answers to.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's funny though, because you've been on this mission to get my subscribers, my subscriptions up, and we
Painful.
I think we talked about it like at 1960. I don't. It was 60 something.
64 is what I saw.
Well, now it's back down to 60.
Livewire 6 days ago.
There you go.
Okay.
And he was on Encrypted Connections like 2 nights ago too, I think.
All right. Yeah, it was things. It was good to hear things went the way they should have with him.
Well, he definitely had to get out of there.
Yeah.
So, not a good place to be.
Jen says, "What's up, Jen?" Jen says, "Hit that like, subscribe, then grab that link and say hi." And that's the link.
That's right.
Yeah, the more the merrier.
See ya. What was that, Murray?
The more the merrier.
Indeed.
Right.
Yeah, the weather is definitely cooled down. Today was like the first, I'd say the past 30 hours that we haven't had
Right.
an air conditioner on.
I turned it off for a little bit earlier. I took a nap and it was a little humid. It wasn't even so much warm. It was just muggy. So, and then I woke up shivering. I was cold. I woke up cold this morning. I had to put a sweater on for the first time in a year.
It was like 50 something, so you know. It was,
I can't help it. My blood
Everybody's
is
like, shut up,
thinned
I'm in
out.
Canada.
I know. I get it. I get it. I hate it that I get cold so easy. I
It's
said
like-
that's the only thing I miss about being fat. Sorry. Is I was always warm. I was
don't say that. You look
Now
much
I
better
can-
now.
I had a couple yesterday on the boat, and they were from Toronto. And it was, you know, for us, it was windy, and it was, you know, it was just first kind of cool down. And I kept thinking, this must be like August for them. you
right.
know?
You know?
Beautiful day.
Wearing a t-shirt and shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so was I, but
I wore sweats yesterday for the first time in a while.
Yeah, it's gonna cool off.
I like it though. I mean, it gets colder than this, and I don't like it, but
and it does.
it does for a little bit, not too long.
Yeah, it's weird. It's
Good news is the heat works in here.
Yeah. I had to figure that out. I know the air conditioning doesn't work. That's why I had to put window units in, but
Heat works good.
the heat works.
Right on.
So we're ready. I'm looking forward to being able to use my Florida room.
Right.
It's just this room porch. It's screen and it's nice. It's mostly glass. It's all glass.
Yeah.
Windows.
I wonder what they call it down there. You only call it. I wonder what you call it a Florida room because you're not originally from there. Like, what do they call it down there?
In Arizona, we call it an Arizona room.
They still call it a
Oh,
Florida.
really?
Yeah, that's where
Yeah.
we got it from. It's like, what do you call it? But yeah, everybody calls it a Florida room. Yep.
That's why I always called it a Florida room too. Yeah.
But
Just
yeah,
like the one that's screened in and like.
Yeah, this one is completed. It's glass.
no, there's a door in the
windows.
front. It's
two
only,
doors.
I guess it's maybe 15 by 10.
Carpet. It's like an extension to the living room.
Yeah. There's a door at each end, and then it's all glass. It's all windows.
And there's a heater in there.
But it's just during the summer. This
it's
we
an
haven't
oven.
used it.
No, of course not.
There's been more storage than anything.
It is. Yeah.
I remember I forget who had one. Like everybody I know, my whole family had one, but one of my family members had one, and they had artificial turf, you know, for like the floor, like that like you know, like Easter basket grass, and like it would get so hot. I'm like, this shit here, this is for the birds, man.
I just saw a guy yesterday finish putting that on a boat deck.
Yeah. They'd send me to water the plants. I'd be like watering my feet too. It's burning.
Sorry.
AstroTurf.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called. But.
Well, a lot of people in Arizona, because it's water is such a commodity out there that nobody grows grass, so they'll put in rocks and gravel and shit. But somewhere, just a lot of people put in just this big section of AstroTurf, just for the look of grass.
Yeah.
Judy Wheeler said sunroom and Florida room.
Sunroom, yeah.
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 And she's from here.
Well, yeah, I guess if it's nice and open, it's like a sunroom or a flood room. But then if it's closed off, it's like a mud room. You know, you just kick your shit off here, and you know what I mean?
It's all carpeted, and like I already pulled the carpet out of the rest of the house except the bedroom. But I want to try to preserve that room because it's comfortable. It's a nice room. It's got a couch and some chairs and lamps and, you know, a bunch of shit.
A bunch of shit.
All my fishing rods are
Well,
sitting in there.
all our
you
stuff
know.
is in there.
Sounds magical. You really sell the joint. It's got a bunch of shit in there.
Well, it's like it's not as neat as I'd want
No,
it.
it's definitely gotta.
It's exciting, yeah.
Sounds magical.
Yeah. It's like you remind me of like Step Brothers when they're like when they make bunk beds and they're like, there's so much room, so many possibilities. Do karate.
I could probably fit a pool table in there too. Trust me, that thought hasn't entered my
I'm
mind.
sure.
But, you know, and it was actually more for the living room. Sorry, Jeff, I see you back there. Now I see you back there.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey,
Just
Hey,
have to glance down.
I've only been there for about 15 seconds, so you
Well, that's Mike.
long.
Eternity.
How are you guys doing? Hey, Mike. Murray?
hey,
So
you
Jeff-
you redid your living room, I see.
Yeah, this is just a fake background on this one. But
Jen was asking what's the difference between a mud room and a sunroom.
a mud room is made to almost not get any sun. My mud room, or what we refer to as mud rooms in this part of the country, usually is where you come in from the garage to an area where there's a wash sink. You can throw your boots and crap on the floor and
It's where
not worry about it.
you have to. Yeah.
Yeah. Like at least, yeah, like in New York, we don't have really like a lot of the houses like you come in and it's like where your parent, like if you went out to play in the snow or like the mud or whatever, like
Mhm.
you put your dirty shit there. Like you hang your stuff, your wet stuff, you put your dirty boots, like all that. So it's like it's basically muddy as hell or like dirty. I guess that's where the name comes from.
And a sunroom would be like a Four Seasons room, or down south you might call them a Three Seasons room. But it's glassed in usually.
Yeah, that's what this is. I wish I had screens for them. No, but I'm glad I'm going to get to use it. Because now there is a separate heater in there, so I like to hang out in there.
I mean,
I just would
this
like to
summer-
utilize it. And
This summer was brutal. I mean, you walk in there and
it was 110 degrees in there.
and that was like 9-10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I remember my dad, he's passed away now, but when he first retired, he was a contractor and a hunting guy, and he moved down to Arizona, him and my mom, and they bought a park model down in the Mesa area, and they bought a really nice one. And as soon as they got there, he started building on a Four Seasons room to this. And everybody who lived there was watching him build this thing. And when he was done, he had like 10 people who were offering to pay him to build these on theirs. And he, was saying, well, I'm not going to do it. I'm retired now. But they were offering him so much, he couldn't say no. He spent the whole first year building Four Seasons rooms on people's park models because they were paying through the ass to have them done, I guess. I don't know.
Wow.
But he said he'd never been that busy before in his life, and he was supposed to be retired. But,
Well, you put out a good product. People wanted it. That's cool.
well, down in those areas, those resorts like that, the retirement resorts, I mean, you can't do anything and have it be a secret. I mean, there's 100 people walking by your place an hour every night, and they see what you're up to. And if you're trying to build something, people are going to come and ask you, would you build that for me?
Yeah, there's over 200 of those communities down in that valley.
Yeah. This was called the Resort. It was right outside of, it's kind of by Superstition Mountain there outside of Mesa. It's pretty nice. They had a gigantic pool, softball fields, where all the old guys got together and had softball leagues, and
Right on.
it was a pretty active community. But he got a deal. Down there, you get to where a guy passes away, and a lot of times that woman just wants to sell and go where their children are or wherever. They don't want to be there anymore. And so a lot of times when those park models come up for sale, it's for everything. You're buying the furniture, the pots and pans, everything totally furnished. And it's actually pretty economical. I mean, considering what.
That's what happened here. I bought everything.
Yeah.
The furniture, the pots, the pans, everything.
I mean, you're not taking advantage of anybody. They find themselves in a position to where maybe they aren't able to move stuff, or they aren't, time is of the essence. They want to get back home to a different area where they've got a support group or whatever. And so they're going to fire sale it, and you're not taking advantage of them. They're the ones who chose to sell it for that.
Yep, exactly. And I think in this situation, the couple is elderly and live up north, and they came down as a snowbird. 6 months here, 6 months there, and got probably to the point in their life where it was just
didn't make sense to pay the rent.
Yeah.
So everything changed.
You got to start hustling at the shuffleboard.
We don't have anything like that. I think there's a laundry room somewhere.
I still haven't found the laundry room.
But there's no shuffleboard.
I felt like I was trespassing when I was.
I was nasty with a shovel. I'd kill it with that thing. I was so good at it.
Those communities are so active. There's something going on at any given time. There's a pinochle game going on. There's a softball game, a shuffleboard. I mean,
let me tell you, I used to roll around with a bocce. I'm not talking like the bocce shit you buy at like Target. I'm talking this shit was like legit.
The marble bocce balls.
Yeah, it was when you brought it out, people were like, okay, like you had to throw money in the box, you know what I mean, to get in.
They weren't the plastic bocce balls; they were the real ones.
Yeah.
Murray said, "Isn't it pickleball these days?" You're right, Murray. That's kind of picking up and becoming a big thing down here, especially.
Even up here, pickleball is it's the one with it's like tennis, but like they hit it really hard, but it doesn't go anywhere.
It's like life-size ping pong badminton type.
Yeah,
pickleball.
Yeah, they go crazy. They go crazy up here.
You know how many calls I get every day at work asking, "Do we have pickleball courts? Do we have pickleball?" No, tennis only. Then people come in off the trail and they see the lines that are on the court. There's a light blue line on, that you can barely tell. Half the time you can't see it unless you know they're there, but it's for the kids for their junior courts. Pickleball fanatics that come in. Well, you already have the lines. No, they're not pickleball lines. Conversation I probably have 5 times a day. That's how big it's.
I wonder, does Miss Dill play pickleball?
I've never gotten really that into it, but I know if you do really get into it, there are pickleball purists that you will find yourself arguing about the finest little details of the game. I mean,
oh yeah.
I worked for a country club back in Jersey about 20 years ago, a little over 20 years ago, and we had pickleball courts there, but they were raised up on platforms. They were heated. Country club, when they had their matches, I was bringing out, from the kitchen, these big fruit trays and drinks and coffee. But yeah, they took their pickleball like serious.
First time I ever saw pickleball or knew anything about it, first time I was exposed to it, I was walking Venice Beach with my youngest, she was 16 then. We were walking along and I thought it was tennis. I'm like, why in the hell would they have tennis courts on, Muscle Beach right there where everybody's working out? But no, they built pickleball courts, so it caught my attention. I sat and watched. It looks fun. I mean, it looks like it. But then again, you got people out on the beach playing. It's not like inland where it's now.
It's all seniors. No.
they're competing for the Olympic gold. Some of them. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. That was years ago, though.
I'd like to look into the history of the game and
Excuse
how
me.
it came. I'm sure it goes way back, but it seems like,
I
it
don't
was just
think it
a
goes
few
back
adults watching, a few of us out of shape adults watching live tennis matches at Wimbledon or something that said, I'd love to play this sport if it was just damn slower.
A little smaller.
And yeah,
And the court wasn't so big. And
Yeah.
all of a sudden, hey, pickleball.
right?
I'm sure it was more complex of a history of development.
No comment. She's a
Murray said, I think I might be more fun watching bikini gals play volleyball. Yeah, pickleball's not, I mean, it's not like a full contact sport or anything, but it looks, I've watched it. It's pretty cool.
I hear the word pickleball and it reminds me of pickleback, which is shots that we used to do at the bar. You'd get a shot of Jameson, the Irish whiskey, and another smaller shot glass of dill pickle juice. And you'd woof down the Irish whiskey and you'd chase it with the dill pickle juice. It had the same sensation of drinking tequila and biting into a lime and putting out the fire, so to speak.
Yeah, I got you.
When you drink that dill pickle juice, that real burn of that that Irish whiskey, it totally makes it go away. So that's why people would do it. But
interesting.
I thought it was interesting because these bars, they have all these pickle spears for their Bloody Marys and stuff. It was a great way for them to figure out how to use all that damn pickle juice they were normally probably pouring down the drain. We can actually get people to pay us for this shit. But
Grasshopper says, I don't play ball with pickles.
Very good.
Get your banana hammock, Miss Dill.
Blue Crossroads says pickleball sounds like a New Delhi sandwich.
Come get your bandana hammock, Miss Dill says. I like that. Your bandana hammock.
The vision. Patrick Vaughn, how are you? Welcome. So what else is new with you, Jeff?
Oh, well, I'm switching gears from, I'd been doing a lot of guiding with elk hunting and deer, some West River mule deer hunting, but mostly elk hunting. But now we're switching into upland bird hunting, pheasant hunting, and I'm enjoying that because as a guide, pretty low maintenance, drive around in a UTV and watch guys walk through cornfields and make sure nobody's shooting each other. And versus, elk guiding, it's all horseback and 15 miles from the nearest fire trail. And if you shoot something, you're packing it out on foot 3 miles to get back to where the horses are. And
now, do the majority of the people, do they bring dogs with them?
The pheasant hunters do. Now we've had it in South Dakota. We have the residents get to start hunting the weekend before it opens for everybody. So that was last weekend. But now this coming weekend, I've got 20 casino owner and operators from Vegas who are coming. They come every year to hunt our land, and they pay stupid money. I mean, they'll pay $5,800 for a 4-day hunt, and they bring their $15,000 over and under English shotguns, and they've got a dog that they might have bought for $1,000 or $2,000, but they've spent $10,000 trying to train, And then they get here and they spend $500 a night on shots and steaks and everything else. But they want to bitch about how South Dakota raised the out-of-state pheasant license $12 this year. It's like, dude, come on,
You gotta bitch about something, man.
Oh, it's just these guys are so, they don't even know what a budget really looks like normal people. You know what I mean? But then again, you start realizing that they aren't as smart as they think they are either. I mean, a lot of these guys are just have lived in a bubble to where street smarts really isn't something they needed to hone their skills at, so to speak.
No.
But
Well, that sounds cool, though. I mean,
Right?
I grew up
yeah.
pheasant hunting, so
I've never been hunting, but it intrigues me. Like when I hear about like the life of a guide, you know what I mean? Like that's got to be kind of interesting. You know what I mean?
Pheasant hunting's interesting in that we hunt, 40 and 80 acre fields at a time. And all the corn is planted in one direction, in rows that run up and down the length of those rectangular fields. And what we'll do is I'll have 20 hunters and I'll take 15 of them and put them at one end of that field where about every 10 or 12 rows, there's a hunter that's going to walk down that row, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what we'll do is as they're all lined up along those rows that are running, let's say the rows run with my fingers here, and all these hunters are lined up every 10 rows or so, you'll start walking them at one end, and then the guy next to him a little bit later will start, and the guy next to him a little bit later will start, so that you're actually running a wedge to the corner, a distant corner of that field. And the 5 guys who aren't walking, they're on the end down by that corner. So as they push all these pheasants running down those rows, at the end, they all get up, and those 5 guys are shooting like no tomorrow. And then we'll go to the next field, and 5 different guys will be the blockers while 15 guys walk. And we'll literally go out and have a limit of 60 pheasants in probably an hour and a half.
wow.
But it's a lot different hunting than elk hunting, where, the elk hunting, I'll be guiding 1 or 2 hunters, and I don't have other guides working with me. It's me. We'll have a wall tents that are set up in a pretty secluded area that are there all season, but we'll go in on horseback to that area. And then from that area, we'll hunt out on foot, and we'll be covering 5, 6, 7 miles up and down these mountains a day, trying to get to high ground where we can visually see into these valleys and just sit there for an hour and watch through binoculars, watch these valleys. And we'll blast cow calls, trying to see if we can get a response, get an elk to bugle. And it's just a game of hide and seek of the biggest proportion. And it's very, very remote, so that, I mean, if one of you twists your ankle, you're in trouble. We got to get those horses back to get you out of there. So it's fun. I love the remoteness of it. I love the challenge of it, but it is not for everybody. And I'm learning very quickly. I'm reaching the end of my time where I'm even capable to do it. I just can't. I just am not built to do that at that pace.
Yeah.
But yeah, hey, it's fascinating. I'm sure there's some amazing stories, that you've witnessed and lived through and whatnot.
A lot of stories, when it comes to bears and mountain lions and different animals that are out there.
Yeah.
But what's really amazing is I'll spend between 37 and 45 nights a year in those areas for the last 20 years. I mean, we're talking 600 and some nights out in the remote wilderness. And other than the encounter that I had when I was 18, I've never found myself in a position where I've had things that I've wondered, like, is there a natural explanation for what I just heard or saw? But as far as seeing a Bigfoot out in those areas, the most remote areas, I haven't had it happen. So, it makes me, part of me, I wrestle with that because, when I see somebody say, hey, we're all going out this weekend, and then they come back with recordings and pictures and stories. And I'm like, dude, I've spent 650 nights out in the wilderness.
Excuse me a second.
But you know, I get it. It's you look at how many people go out. It's not uncommon to go out one time for a weekend with somebody and have an experience. I get it, but I really wrestle with them being out there and the numbers that people claim them to be, because all over Montana, Wyoming, Idaho, where I'm out there, I just would have seen them. I mean, you just would think in 600 and some nights and days, you would have seen them, right?
But I've had that conversation with someone where, you know, I asked him when I was working in Sedona. I used to just kind of profile people real quick when they'd come back from their ride and be like, you know, is he a hunter? Is he a fisherman? Does he, you know, trying to figure out first questions. Where are you guys from?
Mm-hmm.
And then lead into, did you ever see anything weird out there?
Yeah.
And they're like, weird how? Bigfoot? I'm like, well, now that you mention it.
I didn't say it. You did.
Yeah. Some guys will be like, well, it's funny you should say that. Other guys are like, I've been out there hunting for 40 years and I ain't seen a goddamn thing, so they don't exist. However, this guy I work with wrote a book about it. It's like, okay.
Yeah, that's why I say, you know, if I honestly, the amount of time that I have spent in truly remote areas like that, had I not had an encounter when I was 18 years old, I would say that all of those nights and days that I've spent out in those remote areas would be evidence in my pocket that they don't exist, because I would have had an encounter by then. But that's not necessarily true, because I start looking at the 30 or 40 guides that I network with all across the country. And I start asking them questions like, have you ever seen or experienced anything that you just didn't feel had a plausible natural explanation to? And you frame that question like that, you'd be surprised at the shit they start telling you. Yeah. It's crazy. And so now I start looking at it and saying, well, maybe I didn't have something happen in 650 nights, but out of 40 guides, maybe 1 out of 4 of them did. Now you start realizing, okay, we're back on that track of this is not, you know, this isn't just a coincidence. This is credible people that have great outdoor experience that are having these things happen. And quite honestly, they have nothing to gain by admitting that they've experienced this stuff, because they're trying to get strangers to use them to take them out in the woods. And if they're going to sit there and say, oh, I saw Bigfoot, a lot of strangers say, hell, I'm not using you. You're crazy. So they have nothing to gain by talking about it. And yet they do, because it really happened to them.
Yeah, like I said, it's more of a risk. Jay Fritz, how are you? Good to see you. Ben T, what's up, brother?
Jay should pop on. I haven't talked to Jay in forever.
All right, well, the link is in chat. Jay knows how to work it. Yeah,
I whacked off part of my big toe when I was back elk hunting.
Yes.
The inside edge of it, like if my thumb's my big toe here, the inside, or I guess it's my right foot. So the inside edge of it, right down to the bone, is my foot's thinner now, or my toe's definitely thinner.
How did you do that?
It's on a fire axe, and I wasn't that I was swinging and missed. I didn't see the axe leaning there, and when I walked out in the morning, and I kicked it. Accidentally kicked it, and luckily didn't kick it more centered on my foot, because I would have been really in a bad position. But I just shaved the edge of my toe off all the way back into my foot. But
Susie B, I see you backstage. It says device is not connected. So just double check your mic and your camera.
Miss Dill, Jeff whacked off. Oh, his toe.
Well, I just sat down and I heard you start that sentence.
Yeah, I should have picked my
and there
words
was a
better.
slight pause.
And that's why I said, well, I'm glad it ended that way. But
I was like,
yeah.
Hi, Susie.
Hey, Susie.
Hey,
How are you?
thanks. Good. Hey, Jeff.
Hey.
Yeah, even I looked up at Stevie, and she just had this look on her face.
It's like a Polly story that was coming up here all of a sudden.
There was that slight pause.
Where are we going here?
Just sat down. I was like, wait, what? What are they talking about?
Too weird.
So what's Susie up to tonight?
Isn't it obvious?
Nothing, just listening.
She always gets bash fun when she's on camera.
Little by little. I was a nervous wreck the first time I got on. I'm all fidgety. I'm fidgety anyways, but yeah, it was bad. It was bad. I can't stand to look at myself. But you get used to it, and after a while, it starts feeling like we're just hanging out. You forget about everybody else and whatever else is going on out there.
I mean, you read chat, you see people in chat, but I don't know. It doesn't.
It just feels like
you
you're
don't
hanging
think
out.
like there's 51 people watching.
Right.
It's like,
it's weird to think that.
well, what's up, guys? Welcome.
Hi.
Still crazy, Chris. Good to see you.
That's one thing about this stream, though. If you look at all the other channels, all the other streams that are out there, if you were to pick one where you could click the link, come on, feel welcomed, feel like it's a friendly atmosphere to where you can talk about whatever you want to talk about, I don't know that you're going to find a stream where it's easier than this one. I mean,
well, we make it easy.
Yeah, I mean, what I love is that a lot of people started here, you know?
Yeah.
That's true.
A lot of people started here.
They broke their YouTube cherry here on the most.
Right.
On the WTF Live.
Half of them said Connor sent me.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got to check in with Connor. I haven't talked to him in a while.
I just saw something. He was mentioned in a post. I didn't even click it on there, but I was like, why am I getting this? Chris says she's slowly getting better. Prayers, Chris.
Indeed.
Yeah, it seems a bunch of people are under the weather right now.
Yeah. It's this change of season.
I hope that's all it is. I
know here pollen has been up and people with allergies. I've been seeing it all day. I started thinking I had the windows open in the office and started feeling like I had to sneeze. My eyes were getting itchy. I'm like, yep, no, shut the windows.
Well, you've noticed that's something I don't do a lot of is sneeze, but lately.
You have been.
Yeah. And I don't have allergies. I know you develop allergies, but it's weird.
Yeah, the pollen count has been very, very high, which is weird because we've gotten all this rain. You figure a lot of it get washed away. But then again, I'm in the forest all day, so.
This is true.
Oh, lucky.
Yeah, you'd think, but I'm in the office for the most part of it. It could be worse. It sure could be.
I never thought of it like that. I think you're in a forest, but
Yeah.
The forested areas that I'm into during hunting season here, I don't have any effects of that. My eyes don't water. I don't sneeze. It's like I'm breathing the purest air, and there's really no imperfection out there as far as what my body senses. I come home, and within a day, I'll be out on the back deck, sneezing, eyes watering, people mowing their yards. We got a bean field that's being harvested. I mean, it's just like all the dust and pollen and everything just coming from everywhere.
Yeah, like when when I lived in Arizona, I always heard that, a lot of people develop like allergies going to Arizona. Like a lot of people are allergic to juniper, and they don't know it until they get there. But I didn't have that problem.
Yeah. So where are you from, Susie?
Arizona,
Where in Arizona?
Phoenix.
Valley.
The only thing that happened to me when I moved here was my skin dried up. That's it.
Where'd you move there from?
California.
Ah,
Did the battery in your car take a dump too?
Oh,
That's what happens. Everybody who winters in Arizona, they leave here, they go down there, and the first day it hits 110, 115 degrees, their battery's done. It's like their battery just isn't used to those type of heat extremes. Whereas I think if you live down there and bought one, your battery always is fine, I guess. But
no, I didn't have that problem. I moved. I was at a high altitude in Arizona before I moved to Phoenix, so I wasn't bothered by all that.
where were you before Phoenix?
I was up in the Wallapies, in 9 miles east of Kingman.
Oh, okay.
There was a UFO crash there in the 50s, I believe, in Kingman. It was on the news.
Actually, that does sound familiar. It's one of those ones that you don't hear too much about.
No, it's a little Mayberry town.
I liked Mayberry.
I
But it
like
grew.
those little towns.
My kind of town.
Right?
Yeah, but there's no green there, so I didn't like it. So I found a place up in the mountains and was there for a while. And then I met my husband, and he moved me here to Phoenix, and it's like I feel like I'm in a cage here. It's just we're all boxed in.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't live in Phoenix. I mean, like when I was out there, I spent 12 years up in Cottonwood, and it would get hot, but as you know, if you want to get out of the heat, you just go up to the hills.
Mm.
But yeah, you just couldn't. It's too hot in Phoenix.
That's why I leave. I leave as soon as it gets hot. I'm out of here. I go anywhere else.
It blew me away when my parents were down there retired. Even we'd be up here like in December, January, and it'd be, like 4 degrees or 10 below zero. And I'd call my dad, and he'd be like, how cold is it up there? I'm like, oh, it's like 10, 12 below zero today. He's like, yeah, it's about 98 right now. It's supposed to get up to 105. I'm like, what? I mean, I couldn't even wrap my head around it, right?
Yeah, it's short winter in Arizona. Patrick Vaughn said, I rode into a meadow full of something I was allergic to. I leaned forward and wrapped my arms around my horse's neck and he found our way back. It was bad.
Wow.
There are some things that grow out there, especially in the lower land meadows in these mountainous areas, that depending on the time of year, it can be bad. It can be, you can have pretty bad reactions. Some people will.
Miss Dill says, I am summoning you, Mr. Lee. It's out there somewhere. I haven't seen him in a while.
I tend to think that those late nights of all the shows
Caught up to him.
Yeah.
He's sleeping it off somewhere.
Yeah. Because look at the time difference.
Yeah, well, it's about 4 o'clock in the morning there. 3, something like that.
Yeah.
Just one of those cyclic seasons when you do that, where you could probably do it for a month straight. It doesn't bother you. And then you need to sleep for a week straight to try to catch up.
I'm sure. Oh, I hope he's all right. I'll just put that out there.
Oh, of course. Absolutely.
Mr. DeVere, how are you?
So, Monks,
Yes.
You were up in the Mogollon Rim recently, weren't you? You and Stevie and
Yeah, it was about
Judy and Jay and
yeah.
year ago in
year and a
August,
half,
or was it
yeah.
September? I don't know.
August.
August.
Yeah, it was August.
That was this year, right?
Last year.
Oh,
God,
that
it
was
doesn't
last
seem
year?
like it's been
know.
that long already. It's like,
I know.
whoa.
Yeah, we were up by Knoll Lake.
I was up in because I go up to Williams for every summer. We go for a week or so. We go to Kaibab Lake,
Yeah.
and this year I ventured off and I went to go look. I went to go find Whitehorse. I
Yeah,
heard that it was
that's
neat.
Town.
Yeah, and the drive there is actually kind of long, and I don't know, it's like 15, 20 miles or so, the road, but the road was nice, but it was raining a lot. And on the way there, I saw a structure on the side of the road, right off of the side of the road. And I told myself on the way back, I'll stop and kind of, look at it and see how big it is and maybe take pictures. So I made it to Whitehorse, and on the way there, it just rained the whole way on the road, and I saw a huge X just right off the side of the road in the forest. The thing was like at least 30 feet tall,
Wow.
and I was like, oh, I gotta check that out on my way back. So I went to Whitehorse and I hiked around a little bit, and I didn't see anything in the forest up there. No indications of structures or any dwellings or anything, little hives or anything. So I decided to drive back, and I thought that area that I seen or passed was just maybe a mile. I ended up driving for 20 minutes, and I'm like, well, where is this area? And then it started raining again, and I saw that the big X, and the way the road was paved, it was high, so it had like gullies on each side, and I couldn't pull over anywhere, and I didn't want to be pulled over in the middle of the road. So I didn't get a chance to document that huge structure that I seen at the X. That was the biggest I've seen, from watching others and their discoveries. And that thing was so huge. I couldn't believe how big it was. But I couldn't pull over. I was just kind of disappointed. And then the structure on the way in, I couldn't find that one again either. So it was just really weird. It was in plain sight, and I was driving like, I don't know, 7-10 miles an hour down the road the whole way. And it was just raining so hard. It was weird.
When we were coming off the rim, when we were heading back to Cottonwood, we stopped. There was a structure in the woods that we got out and went, and
it was like 50 yards in.
It was obvious.
It was so obvious.
Whether it was man-made or what, but it was interesting. It was it was made from a downed tree where the root ball came out. So there was a hole in the ground, and someone or something put sticks around it and made it look like a blind or a shelter.
Mm-hmm.
Judy was there.
She's probably got about 100 pictures of it.
And there's never been any logging in that area, right?
I know they have, but I don't.
It didn't seem recent.
No.
No.
Not that the logging itself would be an indicator of anything, but somebody having that type of equipment in that area, like a feller bunch or something, where they could actually move something like that as a joke in 5 minutes before they load up and leave. That's where I start wondering, can we just say it's not plausible to think there would have ever been equipment there that could do.
I especially don't think so where we were, because I didn't get out because there was such a ditch off the side of the road. It was such a drop off that with my legs, I was just like, yeah, no, have fun, guys. I set this one out. I mean, I would have had to climb out, gone down the ditch, and then come back up. And that's how it was on each side of the road.
Sides.
Yeah. So I can't really see equipment being in there. It was on a pretty well traveled road, but it was just offset. So when we come around the corner,
this wasn't. This was handmade, whatever.
Yeah.
Whoever hands it was. But in Susie's case, I don't know how far off the road was this X.
Not far at all. I could see it from where I was. I could just see it from the car. I was, gosh, what, 60 feet, 70, 60, maybe 50 feet away. It was in plain sight. It was just like right there, but it was facing east and west. So it wasn't like north. It was facing, away. You would have to know what those are to really recognize it. But it was just so huge. I've never seen anything that big. It had to have been over 30 feet.
Duke over at World Bigfoot Radio, he's put up pictures of 30-foot X's.
Yeah, I have seen some. This was big. And gosh, I just want to go back and see if it's still there. But there was a bunch of arches in there, and in Flagstaff, there were just all alongside in the trees, all the structures. And I was getting so excited. I was coming home, but I saw so many of them, and I'm like, they're here too. Gosh, they're out here in Arizona. So I just stumbled upon all these. I wasn't really looking for them.
Did you ever see anything in Kaibab?
Yeah, Kaibab, more like you got to go drive back into the city, and then you catch the 72, I believe, that takes you to not Wild Cow, I'm sorry, Dogtown, and that road that you take from the city. And
yeah, that's Fourth. When you come into Williams and you go down, I think it's 4th Street.
Yes,
make the left,
yes.
And you just take that all the way up the hill until it turns into dirt, and then eventually you make another left, and it brings you in. Yeah,
right. There's so many signs on the water side of the road, structures, X's. There's the arches, and I didn't even see a structure till I was kayaking in a little pond, the local fishing pond there. I was just kayaking around, and I saw this teepee thing through the bushes, and I'm like, what is that? This was like 2 camping trips ago, and I was nervous. I didn't want to approach it, but when I first discovered that one, I heard rock clanking.
Oh, really?
And I thought, oh, okay, because I knew that they made sounds. So I just parked my kayak as far back as I could get to where nobody could see me. And I just sat there and just kind of closed my eyes, and I just kept hearing rocks, like a rock being hit on another rock. It just kept happening over and over and over again. And I didn't see anything, and I took pictures, but I didn't catch anything. And then it stopped. It went on for about 5 minutes. And then the second time I went back, or when I went back again, I actually found that there was a hiking trail through there, and you could hike all the way around this fishing pond. And that structure ended up being big, really big, and arches all in there. It was really, really fascinating to see all that.
There's been stories that I've heard from the plateau, the Kaibab Plateau. Guys, if you're not familiar, like you have Flagstaff, and if you go west, you hit Williams. In Williams, if you head north, that takes you directly to the Grand Canyon. But about a mile from when you turn off to go north, on the left-hand side, there's this, it's called Kaibab State Park, and it's gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Last time I was in there, we didn't stay because there was like no water in the lake. That's how low it was. But yeah, normally it's great trout fishing, and it's gorgeous. And then there's Dogtown, which is kind of set back, and I like Dogtown better.
Yeah, Dogtown is mysterious. There's some weird stuff in there. I don't think anything too bad. There's an area that I found kayaking. I kayaked way back in there, and there's these stones, and it looks like an old temple or something. The way the stones are shaped, there's a rock that looks like it has fallen and maybe broken. It kind of, to me, it looked like a torso, and maybe the head broke off, and then it eroded through I don't know how many years. But there's something definitely in Dogtown. Something unusual.
I really didn't get too much. I didn't explore. I was there to fish, And it was weird because it was when I was first starting to get into Bigfoot. I was just first hearing these stories, and so it was weird to go there. And I found once I got in the woods, my head was on a swivel, because my mind, I was just getting into the subject. And I was fascinated with it, and still am. And it was just I don't. Since I started getting into this, I don't approach the woods like I used to.
Mhm.
Do.
Yeah, it's true.
You're like,
No, I have no. It's there in my head when I'm in the woods. I'm like, okay, there might be something out here.
Yeah, me, I just get overwhelmed with, just the tranquility of being out there. I don't look for stuff.
I don't get paranoid.
No, I'm not even
But
saying. I just don't even really think about it. I mean, before I approach any patch of woods, I kind of present myself, say a prayer, talk to whoever, whatever is in there, for a minute, and then I just go explore. I find every one of my experiences has been me not looking for something. I'm just out there engaged in my surroundings, and shit happens all the time.
What I think is cool about that area up there is if you were to just take your average person that's not from Arizona and drop them in Dogtown or Kaibab and say, okay, where are you? If they were blindfolded, they wouldn't know they were in Arizona.
oh heck no.
Just like up on the rim, they wouldn't know they were in Arizona.
We went. It was August, and I remember, week leading up to my trip, people at work saying, "You're crazy. It's summertime in Florida, and you're leaving to go to Arizona." I'm like, "No, but you don't understand. It's not the desert that I'm going to. I'm gonna be up in the mountains." And people don't think of it as anything Arizona. It's all desert and dry, and
they don't
cactus.
realize that Arizona has more peaks than Switzerland.
Oh, it's absolutely beautiful. Love it up there. Out there.
She wants to go back.
I'm going back. I want to. I am going back.
Well, they closed Kaibab down September 31st, so you can only go there to go fishing. But I didn't see anything in Kaibab. Even kind of exploring around that area, I didn't see anything. No signs of anything. It's great for stargazing out there, though. The light pollution is really low.
Yeah.
Karen said, she said, we used to camp in Oak Creek Canyon.
Oak Creek. There's been reports out of Oak Creek.
Yep.
Up near West Fork, up that way. I don't know. I've been through that canyon a few times. It's funny. In Arizona, that's the closest I could get to a fall leaf change, to see the leaves change, was in Oak Creek Canyon.
Oh.
I was from New Jersey, and the falls were amazing. The color changes of the leaves and everything. And you get out to Arizona, it's green, and then it's brown.
I know. Well, in the Wallapies, they had you had to go up further though. There's a park right next to where I was living in the residential area. There's a park, and if you go up, it's called the Boy Scout Camp, and if you go up that trail, there's a bunch of orchards. Well, there's a huge orchard of aspens, and those change colors, and it's beautiful. All the yellows and the oranges, but you have to go higher to see that.
Yeah, they had some aspens up on the rim.
Yeah.
And it was weird. You didn't have them on where we were camping, but you went
just
a half a mile away.
Yeah.
And it must have gone up in elevation, maybe 500 feet, maybe.
It's a total difference.
If that.
Yeah.
And then there were aspens. It was like
almost
shit.
Instant. It's amazing how it changes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you would cross the cattle guard gate, and one side is Coconino National Forest.
Mm-hmm.
The other side is Sitgraves National Forest, and they're maintained completely different. you know, you think it would be pretty uniform. Nope.
No.
This one's manicured and, you know, thinned out. This one's a jungle.
Yeah.
As soon as you cross the cattle guard gate, it makes a difference. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
The road is a different color. The road,
It is. Yeah.
It's bizarre.
It's like instantly entering into a whole different forest. Like within an inch. As soon as you cross over the cattle guard,
It's just
like,
how it's managed.
It's like, wow. So much so that we stopped. Jay and Judy and I would just sat there for a second. Like,
what were you gonna say, Jeff?
I was going to say, I see that a lot in northern Montana when you cross into different forest boundaries or even county line boundaries, to where some are just better managed with deadfall and, you know, fire prevention. You'll be like hacking through a jungle and all of a sudden there's a line and there's like no deadfall there. I mean, it's like you can just walk through these trees, and it's crazy how it's the same forest. It's just managed differently.
yep.
Yeah, I was surprised with that. It was just really bizarre.
Yeah, me too.
Because as soon as you cross that cattle guard, you're just like, wait a minute, what just changed? And then you realize, you know, all these little things, they're different.
That is weird.
Mike, what's up? Mike says it is beautiful right now. I was just up there.
Oh, that's cool.
That's
But it's chilly at night.
now,
Yeah, it is. I'm sure.
It's still in the high 90s here.
Yeah, I saw that on the Weather Channel. I think I was like, my God, it's been like 101. Or,
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, like you just take 5 steps and you're soaked. You're sweating. You're just sweating.
like OMG Wicks is a channel out there, and he does the whole thing on Florida. I could see that someone doing that for Arizona.
Yeah.
You know, where if you've ever watched OMG Wicks, you know what I'm talking about. He does these little skits of
Himself, but
it's the weather and just the weird shit that happens in Florida, but mostly the weather. I'm not. I don't know if I should. I have Miss Dill. What is this? I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, she's been talking for a little while. She said her nipples. She said earlier her nipples were so hard she could cut glass. I said I'm sliding my beer mug over, saying prove it. But
Grass Pro.
I don't know if that's good or bad, Mrs. Dill, but you know, it's October, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I offer free exams, so if we need to make sure everything's normal.
Humanitarian, yeah.
Trying to do my part. Do my part.
Karen says Estes Park, the elk are in town in the fall, just walking around. You learn to leave them alone. It's cool to watch, though. Estes Park, Colorado.
What I got a kick out of is I've got some pictures that I'll send you, Mogs. I won't do it now, but bighorn sheep right now are really piling up in people's yards. And it's like right now, these guys that have bighorn sheep tags, they're going to the ends of the earth, crazy areas, trying to get to where they can hunt these things. And they're all in these little small mountainous towns hanging out in people's yards. I've got a friend of mine that has a picture of like 13 bighorn sheep sitting in their yard. And I mean, full, huge, these are record class bighorn sheep.
Curls on them.
Meanwhile, you can go spend 2 hours 30 miles away looking all over. There's none to be found because they're all in town.
Let's go, Jay. You knucklehead.
I bumped my head.
Not head. Not
Is that what it says?
not head. Did I see you say you wrote something about walking into the glass?
That was me.
It's a good thing you didn't go through it.
Well, my dog had to go. I got a sick dog, and he had to go outside at 2:15, and I was quite sleepy at the time, and I forgot we got a glass door there.
I got a knot on his head. Did it knock some sense into you?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's a hell of a wake up call.
It's a good thing it wasn't Miss
Plus-
Dill. She would have cut right through the door, it sounds like.
plus, when you stepped outside this morning, Jesus Christ, it was cold.
See? Thank
Colin,
you.
now what's that mean? What's that mean? It was 60? It was 60? What's cold there?
It was probably about 51, 52.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 51, something like that. Too.
That's brisk. It's not.
Well, no, but it's when you feel it for the first time since March.
When 4 weeks
Yeah.
ago it was
But
100
down there, it's winter coat weather, probably. For down there.
I'm looking in my closet today, going, "What do I have?
Oh,
do I need
yeah.
pullovers or?"
I haven't unpacked my winter clothes are in a box in the closet, and I brought that out a couple hours ago. Hence, look, I got my long sleeves.
It just takes time for me to put on a pair of pants.
We've had hard freezes
I like
pretty
wearing-
much every morning lately where we're scraping the windows at
Oh, really?
6 a.m.
Yeah,
Have fun with that.
I don't miss that.
Yeah.
I don't miss that.
Be have fun.
Sorry.
Hey,
What's up, man?
how you doing, bud?
How's Angie?
Great.
Mark Halstead, welcome. What we got? 51. Right on.
You don't need winter clothes here. I think I threw a lot of my winter clothes away when I moved to Phoenix.
Really?
What I got a kick out of was when my parents would come back in the spring from being in Phoenix. And in the spring, it'd be like 60 degrees here to where you're layering, you're wearing a t-shirt with, a hoodie or a light jacket. They'd be like wearing scarves and knitted hats and winter jackets, and it's 60. It's like, dude, it's not 20 degrees, But it felt like that after they'd been in Arizona all winter. It felt extremely cold when.
Well, the first time I came to Florida, the first thing you realize is the humidity.
It smacks you in the face.
But at living, I could feel the difference in altitude because Cottonwood was around 3,500 feet.
Mm.
Sedona was around 4,000 and something. But when you're at that level for so long and then you go to sea level, you feel the difference. You can breathe. Like all of a sudden, like you have all this oxygen coming in. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah, I think a lot of that just falls into what you're used to and the change. The change takes a bit of time to get used to. And once you acclimate to it, it's
that's
not
me.
a big deal. But
I've been here in Florida 22 years, and my blood has thinned out so much. Anything below 60, I'm serious. I get cold. It's crazy.
Me too.
You're just old, Jay.
I am too.
yeah.
When are we going fishing, Jay?
Yes. When are we?
I went. Oh yeah, the dogs got a whole lot better today. It's
Good.
Good.
improved. But yeah, I'm ready to go. I couldn't go when you said what last Thursday. I couldn't go but it was a whole lot better today.
Yeah,
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
I went the Wednesday before last Thursday's show. And I told Stevie I caught a nice one. It had a head of a
It was a 5-pound bass and a 2-pound body or something.
yeah, and the body was it
mouth.
looked emaciated. It was a terribly sick looking fish,
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Like post spawn.
Yeah. Had a big old head on it though.
I said no picture.
Janet said the same thing. She says, I want to see it. I tried to get it on it, and for some reason I took a picture, but it didn't show.
Mm. Where have we heard that before?
I don't want to.
Where's your wrench?
It is what it is. I raised my right hand.
I know. I just giving you a hard time, right? His wrench was stripped away.
And Susie,
Wait.
Susie,
Huh?
I rode to Arizona with that woman up there.
Yeah.
And Judy and Chet and then Chet, they never
At the time of his life.
they never shut up.
Jay claims he secured his sainthood when he goes to heaven by going on
That's
that
right.
ride with Stevie and Judy.
He slept a lot. When he wasn't driving, he slept.
Self-preservation.
Us knocking him out so that he'd shut the hell up.
I kept getting lost.
He did, and I did. I got lost. Well, I got backwards. I didn't get lost. I just got stuck in. Where were we?
The woods.
No, it was Tennessee.
That too.
Well, that too. I'm not talking about that. Before that, on the way there, I got. Where was that? That was Tennessee somewhere, wasn't it?
It's where that Russell's place was. Remember, we got turned around there. And was that New Mexico? We got turned around.
Yeah, I can't. I don't remember exactly.
Just
where.
past Albuquerque. It was past Albuquerque when we pulled off.
Yeah,
I-
right. I didn't know you were drinking out of it. Look, I picked that up on that trip.
Oh, did you?
It glows in the dark. Yeah, that was that
Was it?
Russell's rest stop
Yeah,
that we were
Russell's
at.
truck stop or something.
Yeah, the one you said you couldn't find us. We thought you left us. Here, Judy and I walk out, and we don't see the vehicle anywhere. We're like, where the hell did Jay go? We just looked at each other and laughed.
I guess it does a little bit, doesn't it?
It does a lot, actually, if you put it in the dark.
Man.
I pulled
Somebody-
over.
Just
I
stop at
pulled-
Russell's.
I pulled over into the quietest spot I could get to and enjoyed it for a few minutes.
He slept so much, that's how he met Judy. I got out.
Woke up to her.
Yeah, well, I got out to go greet her
How are
and was
you?
talking to her daughter, and we're sitting there getting her bags and putting them in the back, and the whole time Jay's in the back seat. We finally I get gas and we got coffee and we were ready to go. We're like, where the hell's Jay? Where the hell is he? I look in the truck, I don't see him. We're looking around. Where did he go? Yeah. 10, 15 minutes go by. We're laughing. This is us I just met Judy 10 minutes earlier. Couldn't find him. I go to open up the back door and he comes damn near rolling out. He had stretched out, leaned up against the door so low that we couldn't see him through the window.
I did a half gainer coming out of it.
Into the ground, and Judy and I died laughing. That was.
And he's only about that tall to begin with.
Yeah, right. Judy gets up front and we take off, and I think the first half hour we did nothing but laugh at Jay.
Yeah,
that was
Hey, Trackway.
trip of a lifetime.
yeah.
That was we had a good time.
From start to finish.
Did the local Indian ruins like Montezuma's castle, and did we go to the well? No, that was too much stairs. We didn't go to
No,
the
it was
well.
too much stairs, and we were we didn't want to take the
Tuzagoot,
time.
and then one day we went up to we did the Grand Canyon. So that was fun watching Judy's reaction for the first time.
Drove through Sedona.
What was that Indian place we went to before the Grand Canyon?
Montezuma's castle.
Montezuma's Castle, yeah.
That place is cool.
Yeah, very.
So I kind of got turned on to Indian ruins when I was 10 because we went to Mesa Verde in Colorado, and that's just amazing. They have these ladders that go down into these kivas, underground kivas, and
Oh, I'd love to see that.
when I was a kid, you could go down there. I don't even know if they allow you down there anymore.
Probably not.
Yeah, I've never seen petroglyphs before till I moved to Kingman. Actually, Kingman has some. I was in high school getting ready to graduate and getting my last credits, and my job was to work for the BLM and do surveying for the land, and on that land there was petroglyphs, and that was really neat. I'd never seen them before. That was a neat experience.
No doubt.
Were they red in color?
No, those are the pictoglyphs.
Oh,
Petroglyphs are the carved into the stone, the carvings.
okay.
Yeah, I didn't see any pictoglyphs. Mainly petroglyphs, and there was swirls in the rocks, and the deer, and then the stick figure kind of people like, and then the big people like.
We have both petroglyphs and pictoglyphs.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Jeff.
I was saying up here in the Boundary Waters area, there's both petroglyphs and pictoglyphs. That what's really interesting about them for how old they are is that I've seen the pictures of ones that are up in Alaska that they found, and they're really, really similar. It is crazy how similar they are, not in the overall design, but some of the little intricacies of how things are drawn and what they use to get that red coloring that stays there for so long. It's all the same. And it's like, you think about that. Maybe somebody could travel from A to B and share that. But, God, I mean, just very remote areas that are 1,500 miles away from each other that have the same types of references are pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have them in Sedona. There's places you can go and check them out. So that was the
the ones that are in the Boundary Waters are cool because you'll be canoeing or kayaking along, and you're looking like 70 feet up on a cliff wall, and they're there, and it's like, dude, how did you even get up there and get them there, right? But
I was just thinking about that the other night. I think there was water here and very high, because I've seen a lot of those petroglyphs high up, but then you see erosion below it. So the rocks look smooth and rounded, and then there's seashells here too. So
yeah.
I think
the most intricate ones here are like 5 or 6 feet up off the water is all, so you can see them really well. And it's a big intricate, it's like somebody was trying to capture an event that happened with hunters and what they saw and everything that happened throughout this thing. And what they're using in the background for reference, it appears that this was simply across the river where all of this was happening. Like there's a reason why they painted it here, but it's really interesting. It was obviously painted by somebody who was in a craft, a canoe or something. But that, or they went out in the winter, walked out on the ice and did it, which could have easily been done too. But
Karen says, I love the history of the Southwest in general.
Right.
I was happy to see that. What is it? Was it on Netflix we saw? They're actually coming out with a new Billy the Kid type series.
I'm not sure it was Netflix.
A new Western come out,
Yeah.
It was whatever it was.
One of those.
I noticed one of them has a new, I started watching the first couple episodes, but it's called Django, but it has nothing to do with Django, the old movie. I mean, it's a different story completely altogether, but kind of that same Western setting back after the Civil War and stuff.
I don't know. It's always like, if I've never been an actor or anything but if I were to, I'd want to do a Western if I were going to be in a movie. For some reason, I always wanted to be in a Western.
I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
A gold miner.
I think for a lot of actors that are in them, they kind of create a niche so that when casting directors in the future are looking at who do we put in this movie, they kind of like once you're in one and it goes real well, you kind of start seeing yourself in several of them. I mean, Kevin Costner's a great example. Dances with Wolves and all this, and then the whole Yellowstone thing. And it's just like he kind of belongs in that type of a movie. You know?
Yeah.
I think there's several actors that kind of made careers in carving niches in that genre of movies, you know.
Kind of jumped the shark with Waterworld, but you know.
Yeah.
Well, there was a couple of them that he was in that were different. What's the one, Message in a Bottle or whatever? Or is that what it's called? Where he's in the Carolinas and his wife dies and he threw a message in a bottle to her, and some reporter found it and they traced it back to him and tried to interview him about this thing that he wrote years ago. And he was, yeah, it's a great movie, but it's nothing like what you're used to him being in, you know. Kind of the same with the baseball movies that he's in. He's in a couple different baseball movies.
Yeah, For the Love of the Game.
Yeah.
Actually, I watched some of that being filmed at Yankee Stadium.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I was making a delivery there and it was closed down, but then, you know, I was dropping off some Sony equipment that they were going to use and went up and looked out on the balcony, looked down, and you could see, you know, they're filming. They have everybody in one little section where they're filming that section. It was cool.
That's pretty cool.
My favorite Western was Outlaw Josie Wales.
Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite modern series or Westerns was Hell on Wheels. That actor Anson Mount who plays Colin Bohannon when they're laying the railroad across the Midwest in the race. That whole series, Hell on Wheels, I thought was really well done.
Deadwood was another one that was good.
Yeah.
I like Deadwood. It was raw, you know.
I want to see.
I like Deadwood because of all the references. I've been there. You know, you can go into the town of Deadwood and that little graveyard where Wild Bill Hickok's buried is right there. You can walk right into it and stand in front of his grave. And the saloon that he was killed in is still there on Main Street. I mean, it's all modern and it's a building now, but it's actually right where that happened, you know.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say he had aces and ace, but what was the other card he held? What was the other card?
I
don't know.
I want to say it was low. It was like a deuce or something.
Queen of Spades.
It was Queen. Okay.
Queen of Spades, yeah.
Susie and I are just like, okay.
Dead man's hand is what it's called. Poker hand. Whenever you hit an eights, you're like, you know, it's just reminiscent of that. The new Bass Reeves show looks amazing. Hey, what's up, Chris?
Right? How you doing, Chris?
I didn't even look down. I just saw that. I didn't see whose name it was.
I was saying I want to see Yellowstone. I haven't watched any of it.
Oh, you'll like it. You'll like it. It's good.
Yeah, it's good.
It is good.
That's all I've
Well,
heard.
last week was intense, wasn't it, Susie?
I didn't watch it last. Is it still running?
I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah, they just started the new.
I ain't going to tell you what went on there.
No.
So, Mogs, you had mentioned what out of all the Clint Eastwood line of films that he did, do you have a favorite from all of those? Or
Jeez.
My favorite, I think, out of all of them was Pale Rider, and I don't know why that one stands out, but I really liked that one. But
I like Pale Rider.
But he was in so many of them. I mean,
The Unforgiven, that was a good one.
I mean, I like Young Guns. That was
You
really
would.
Did you what? No, that was a pretty good movie.
Yeah, it was.
And
Well, there's
basically,
Young Guns 2. Yeah.
well, but the new series coming out is going to be. It's based on that whole Lincoln County War, and that's what I think it's called is the Lincoln County War.
One of the iconic things about the Young Guns sequels was that the John Bon Jovi soundtracks that
of course.
were so prevalent in them.
Of course.
But it should be a good series.
Yeah, I seen they're going to be making a Young Guns 3 next year. They have a pretty interesting. I think there's at least 2 documentaries on William Bonney sitting on the side of the road and somebody driving up. This is like in the 30s or 40s or whatever, 50s, and they see him and start talking to him, and he tells them who he is, and they don't believe him, and he pulls his shirt off and shows them and his bullet holes and stuff. And there was documentaries done where they interview people who were involved in that. And
didn't he go by Brushy Bill back then? Like when
there was an alien. I think that's right. There was a couple different aliens. I mean, you got to think if he was as famous as he was, if he was to disappear off the map for decades, he would have had probably several aliases that he was using during that time. But
it's an interesting story.
Yeah, but
how did I just don't understand? Like, if they were to do a third one, who are they following in that? Because Pat Garrett killed Billy the Kid in one of them.
I think Chavez is probably the only one that really went off, wasn't it?
That was Lou Diamond Phillips.
Lou Diamond Phillips, yeah.
I think you'd have to do something completely. I don't know that you can use any of those same actors.
No, or the storyline.
Because it isn't going to fit the storyline. They've aged so much since then that you've got to start a completely new storyline where we're talking about maybe a person who's claiming to be the son of or something. And, maybe there's a completely different direction it goes. But
they kept it as historically accurate as possible, even though it was, Hollywood.
He was considered the baddest outlaw.
I've read some stories about gunfighters, and there are some gunfighters that were known to be worse than Billy the Kid.
Oh, I'm sure.
One of them is John Wesley Hardin or whatever. You read about that dude and what he did, it's like, holy shit, this guy was.
Grasshopper said Billy and Garrett are so overplayed. Let them rest in peace.
Yeah. I agree. There's so many stories in the Old West that if you want to dig one up and make a movie about it and retell it, it's just like the movie The Revenant, where Hugh Glass gets attacked by the grizzly bear. I mean, there are stories like that exist through history that would make great
the baddest outlaw of the West. Many infamous outlaws terrorized the Old West. Gunslingers.
That's why I changed her name.
I think a modern adventure movie about Lewis and Clark, one that really accurately portrays what they did and where they went at that time, I think would be really interesting,
Karen said John Wesley Hardin was a bad dude.
Deacon Jim Miller, too. He's supposed to be the worst of all.
Movie I'd like to see is like a documentary or like the history of like the Cole brothers. They were the photographers from the Grand Canyon and the shit that they went through going down the Colorado River and just filming everything. And I'd love to see a movie about that. That'd be cool.
Find a Trackway says, let's create a new Western like The Outlaw Grassy Hopper.
Shot another man for snoring. Outlaw Fritz, I heard. What is that? Have you seen?
Yeah, that was pretty crazy show.
No.
You can find it either on Prime or Netflix. It's a Western that was done about 5 or 6 years ago.
Never heard of it.
It's pretty good.
You have to look for it.
But then again, I got away from TV for the longest time. I mean, no, I have a TV. I watch YouTube.
We stream.
Although, like lately, we were binge watching World War II Gold.
Lost Gold.
Where they're searching in the Philippines. Now, like, we caught up, and now it's like, well, when's the next one?
Yeah.
The Hart brothers. I don't know who they were. Clark Kent wants to know, how good does a person have to be to enter heaven and avoid hell? How many lies do you have to tell to be a liar? Ever stolen? Ever lusted? Ever cursed? Ever hated anyone? Well, I think when you're facing immortality, all those questions are going to come into play. Why it's relevant now, I don't know.
There's that lost Dutchman treasure that's over here close by where I'm at.
And superstitions.
Right.
Yeah, it's like what, 45 minutes away from here? Maybe.
Far.
To
a lot
the
of people died looking for that.
A lot of people.
Yeah, I was reading up on it.
A lot of people have gone missing for looking for it.
I don't know how they can go missing. There's really not a lot of canopy there. Unless they fell off a cliff or down a hole.
There's a lot of holes in the desert.
Yeah. Hey, Tex. How you doing?
Texas front porch.
Good to
What's
see
going
ya.
on, brother?
Good old Tex.
Let's see. Laman, let me see what Chris just said.
Well,
Laman is going to do each season about a woman of the West, starting with basics. Right on.
So that's a good question for Tex. What is Tex's favorite Western?
Absolutely. Like, we were just talking about Westerns, and I'm a big Western fan. And what do you watch, Tex?
Why don't you say something like The Walking Dead?
Oh, man.
Trackway. Have a good night.
Oh.
Take it easy, Trackway. What's the matter, Jeff?
I just got some devastating news.
From Molly?
Yeah, from Nikki and Molly. I don't know if this is out there, but it's going to be out there so quickly that I'm not. I'll go. Joe passed away 40 minutes ago.
Oh. Rest in peace, Joe.
And I understand that I didn't have permission to put that out there, but I guarantee you it's not going to go a couple hours and it's going to be out there. So I'm, I don't know why we wouldn't want people to know that.
Well, prayers to Molly and
the
family. Joe, Godspeed.
Yes.
Hey, Tex.
Hey.
Your timing's
impeccable.
Wow.
We just found out that one of our friends, you've probably seen him,
Joe
Snyder from
Western New York, Bigfoot
research. He just passed away
He's been dealing with
within
stage 4 cancer for about a month and a half, and we'd been doing fundraisers for him and stuff, and just found out that he passed away. So,
wow.
Oh,
we're sorry for your loss.
I agree with Jen.
Yes,
I agree with Jen.
Hashtag fuck cancer.
I love it.
How you been, Tex?
Been all right, man. Been all right. Keeping my head down, doing my thing,
Right on.
Hi, Tex.
Bobbing and weaving. Hey, Susie B.
What's your favorite Western?
Do what?
What's your favorite Western?
Oh, favorite Western. I got to go. As much as I love John Wayne, okay, unfortunately, I have to go with either Tombstone or Lonesome Dove.
Lonesome Dove's a good one.
Lonesome
They're both
Dove
good
was
ones.
good. Yeah.
Jeff, if you got to go, we understand.
I know y'all. I heard y'all mention, hey Midwest, Clint Eastwood movies. Yeah. My favorite Clint Eastwood Western is High
I'm
Plains
gonna
Drifter.
take off.
All right, Jeff.
Appreciate you guys having me on.
Hang in there,
Hey,
brother.
We'll talk
Hey,
soon.
Jeff.
Take care, brother. So, man,
I would. She said it. Joe knows everything now. That's exactly what I was thinking.
We can hope. Just saying.
No, I know.
Does your soul carry those questions with you?
I know.
I don't know.
I hope so.
well, I got to, I those same questions were, everybody was talking about the same thing about when Carrie,
Yeah.
I personally believe that those questions, I personally believe we get the answers to.
I do too.
The questions that we're looking for, whatever they are in your life,
Right.
Connie,
You may
welcome.
not like everything you find out. I don't know.
True. Very true.
Connie says prayers for everyone in these last dark, trying times.
Indeed.
Yeah.
That just sucks. I know him and Jeff were close.
Yeah.
So I knew Jeff wasn't going to stick around.
Mm-mm.
We've lost a few researchers here lately.
Yeah.
Sad.
Cancer's tough, and that's why I'm wearing the pink bandana, because October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So, guys, you realize cancer's a bitch. But you can do anything to avoid it, be it a mammogram. And like I said, guys, you can get it too. So don't blow this off. Protect yourselves.
Yep.
Support the pink. Hit that link.
I love it.
Yeah, it's been a while, man. You and I haven't talked in months.
Me and you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know. Too damn long.
What the hell's wrong with you guys?
I've been
I know. He's like that. That prodigal son. He never writes. He never calls.
Nobody special says the ultimate statistic is that 10 out of every 10 will die. We all have an appointment to keep with death. What is our destiny after death? That's the question. Condolences.
Nobody special.
Rest in peace, brother. Rest in peace.
I've been coming by your site some texts lately. I like your format.
Oh well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Yeah, we try to put out decent stuff.
I would be on cam, but I got a knot on my head tonight.
You done bumped yourself in the head.
I bumped my head.
You sporting a goose egg, are you?
Yes, I am.
Let's see it.
And how did you do that exactly, Jay? Walking into a glass door?
At 2 in the morning.
2 in the morning.
Or did you do it yourself, or did somebody give it to you as a gift?
Where's Janet?
I was a little 8-pound dog.
Come on, camera buddy, sitting there holding a bag of peas to his head. Frozen peas.
No, see, that's something I would do is hold a can of peas to it because I'm not damn stupid.
Right.
It's the same one that got thrown at you.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I'm too
Oh,
dark.
Lord.
I can't see. Oh, there it is.
Put them on big screen.
See my
Yeah.
bump? Hey, you right there?
Let's see this
it.
nut.
What the hell? That ain't that bad.
Yeah.
Big old
That's
knot on my
little.
head.
Crying about.
It looks like a pimple.
I know.
Pop that thing and quit bitching.
They not here.
I'm too old to get pimples.
Well, down here we call those pop knots.
I whammed it pretty good. That's the first thing it hit.
Marine, what's up?
It's all right. I got my thumb slammed in the door yesterday. I was coming in. It was windy as hell. Wind caught the screen door, and my hand was just in it, and it slammed right on it. I got a little bruise under my nail. But my God, when it happened, it brought tears. That hurt.
She had some colorful things to say. Just say.
When I was about 17, I was over at my sister's house and I was getting ready to go out, and I'd just take a shower, and I walked out of the bathroom, had a towel wrapped around my waist and everything, and it was bebopping down the hallway, and I kicked a scorpion.
Oh,
and he stung me on the end of the toe.
Oh.
And my mom was sitting in the living room. My dad, my sister, my brother-in-law. I expanded everybody's vocabulary.
I'm sure.
My mom was like, "Watch your mouth." I'm like,
I was gonna say you probably didn't feel your toe after your ass got beat.
oh man.
Until it swelled up and you were like, oh, I better go see a doctor.
Yeah.
Actually, I've never been stung by a scorpion. Killed a bunch of them, but everybody was always like, oh, it's like a wasp sting or a little worse. I don't know.
No, it is not.
He's like, hell no.
That's one big ass wasp is all I got to say. A yellow jacket sting is like, ow, get off here. That's what that's like. A red wasp is, ow, damn it, that hurt. A scorpion sting, yeah, you expand people's vocabulary.
Well, the last time I got stung, I guess it was a little red wasp. I got stung I think I got stung on my middle finger or my finger, and my arm swelled up to about
right there.
Right about here.
Yeah.
This whole thing just swelled up.
Like within the first 10, 15 minutes, it just swelled.
That would be an allergic reaction, I would say.
Yeah, I'd never had a reaction like that before.
Well, see, and that's what's weird. The this is the random shit that I have in my head, folks. Right. As you grow older, it's easier to have an allergic reaction to shit that you've been eating or doing all your life. It's harder for a young kid to have an allergic reaction unless they're just naturally born with it.
Sure.
But to develop one, you have a better shot as you grow older because you're exposed to it over and over and over. And what an allergic reaction is, it's your body overreacting to the foreign bodies.
Sure.
That's all it is. So yeah, that's so
you're speaking that's so true because I just got my shingles shot. I got my second single shot, and I had a breakout here on my side of my face. I went to the doctor, and he says I had an allergic reaction to the single shot. In other words, I got shingles from single shot.
Yeah.
Karen says, I imagine it would hurt. The black widow that bit me in January sure hurt.
Holy moly.
Took months to heal and lots of antibiotics.
I've seen that. I've seen a guy get ripped on the calf, and it just
I've never,
yes.
I've never been bit by a black widow. I've heard they hurt when they bite you.
Yeah.
Now, I've been bit by a brown recluse, and I never even knew it.
Huh.
Until I was in basic training when it happened, and we had been out on a tactical bivouac for a week, and we came back, and we were cleaning the barracks, and it was, in fact, you can still barely see the scar right there, but it's on my wrist right there. I had my sleeves down, and it kept brushing, and it was irritating my arm. I'm like, what in the world's going on? And I rolled my sleeve up, and I had a spot about that big around. It was swelled up about that high on my wrist with a white center in it, and two little looked like red marks coming off of it. And I'm like, what the hell? And I thought it was just a damn ingrown hair or pimple. And I just popped something. And then I just went on about my business. Well, a couple hours later, I rolled my sleeve up, and the damn red marks had went from this long to here.
Wow.
And there was a buddy of mine that he was a paramedic back in the world. And I said, what is it? He goes, get your ass to drill sergeant. That's freaking blood poisoning, dude.
Yeah, it's sepsis.
So I went and saw the drill sergeant, and he's like, well, if it gets any worse, let me know.
Jeez.
I'm like, okay.
Right.
So I checked it a little while later, and he was drunk. He was pulling weekend CQ duty. And they were almost all the way up to my elbow.
Jeez.
And when I came back down and showed him, he goes, get your ass to the hospital. So we walked across base to go to the hospital. We walk in, the emergency room is packed full, right? And I walk up to the desk, and the little nurse there says, or woman that working the counter, she goes, can I help you? I said, yeah, I got this going on. I don't know what it is. I went in front of everybody. They wheeled me in there, and the next thing I knew, they had this arm, they had me out like this, and they had this arm curtained off and an IV in this one, and they numbed it, and then they started cutting it open and digging all the crap out of it.
Scraping it out.
Yeah. And I ended up spending a week in the damn hospital, and they told me if I'd have been there 2 hours later, they'd have had to take my left arm off from the shoulder.
Wow.
Jeez.
To save me. I'm like, damn.
Jeez. Yeah, there's two things in I guess in Arizona, then probably elsewhere, but that you didn't want to get bit by was a tarantula hawk and a velvet ant.
What the hell is a tarantula?
The red butt.
Velvet ant, yeah.
Yeah, we call them cow killers down here.
Tarantula hawk is they actually, it's a huge ass wasp that will kill tarantulas.
Wow.
And then drag its ass into its own burrow, lay eggs in it, and split.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah. But those are supposed to be two of the most painful stings out there. Velvet ant, it looks like an ant with this velvet coat on it, but it's actually it's a female. It's a wasp. It's a wingless wasp, and they put a hurting on you.
I've seen plenty of them, and they are hard as hell to kill too. You can step on them and step on them and step on them and step on them. They could keep going. But they're orange and black. The ones that we had down here, or have down here, and we call them cow killers because they hurt so damn bad.
Huh. Mogs, do I get overtime pay? Oh, I forgot. You're 2 minutes over. Come on.
Somebody had mentioned, I'm trying to scroll back, about horseflies. They bite. That hurts. Like, I agree. I've experienced that.
Yeah, damn old bot flies.
NAC, how's it going? He says he got bit by a black widow.
On the left
Ooh, I didn't get there.
Wow.
Oh, on the left eyebrow.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
While he was asleep.
Shit.
What the heck?
Yeah, I couldn't imagine that.
Karen says, ooh, can't imagine getting bit on the eye. Got
Right.
enough in my foot.
Yeah, no kidding. Oof.
I saw a big old rattlesnake on the backside of Janet has to go with her mother. Her mother's 98. She has to spend the weekends with her, three siblings, and they split days up where the weekends Janet's. Well, they got 10 acres back behind their house, and the back part's forested, And I just got where I go over and visit Janet on Monday mornings, and she stays Saturday, Sunday, and Mondays. And I always go over, and that way I can take all the garbage out to the street, because it's almost a half-mile walk to get the garbage out to the pickup point, and over at sand, it's hard to push them darn things over soft sand,
Yeah.
So, but there's a big forest of wood back there, back behind it. I've got to around spend about as much time there as because I've got getting used to going back into them.
Sure.
Ever since my counter years ago, it's been so hard for me to go back, and I just cannot get over the serenity of being in the woods by yourself.
It's amazing.
It's just, if I could, I could spend hours in there. I just love it that much.
I used to.
The other day, I was having to cross one of the fences, and there was a darn rattlesnake, about an 8-footer on me, and he was about 20 feet from me and he sounded off, and I didn't see him at first, and I was about halfway up that fence to cross over, and I just froze on that thing. I said, if you're gonna get me, you're gonna have to work for it. But I finally caught sight of him over. I could see the bushes moving where his tail, and I just backed off and left. But he was a big one, I mean.
I think in Arizona, I only saw like 2 or 3 rattlesnakes in the whole 12 years, like in the wild.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
And one of them was from a train. It was a green Mojave. Those are like the most venomous rattlesnake out there. Yeah, I never had too many run-ins with snakes.
Me either.
They're very loud too. I heard one over a Honda engine, our side by side, and I heard it over that. Over the engine sounds pretty loud. And that thing pierced the sound of our engine.
Wow.
It's like a cicada almost. Boy,
I'm
it was
out of here,
loud.
man. I'm out of here. We'll see y'all later, okay? Y'all have a good
Okay.
night.
Good to see you. I'll talk to you soon, man. We'll go fishing.
Right?
Okay.
You later, Jay.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
I talked to somebody that went to the Hanobia conference just here recently, and they said there was little pygmy rattlesnakes all over the place.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm like, that was my exact word. What? Really?
Yeah.
I mean, because that's a big deal. I don't know what happened, but they said they saw just a bunch of them. I'm like,
No
yeah,
bueno.
Helton, I can relate. I can't eat clams anymore. Ants left whelps and blisters on my back, and now allergic to clams. They give me the hives. If I'm ever allergic to clams, just shoot me.
Yeah, right.
I eat a lot of clams.
I love clams and oysters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I make a white clam sauce with pasta. So yeah, I have 2 cans of clams in the cabinet right now.
I do too. What I wanted to do, I've got a big old bag of shrimp, and I bought a couple of cans of clams, and what I've got planned is to make a seafood gumbo.
Sure.
And seafood and sausage gumbo. But
What time's dinner?
I waited too damn long, and now I can't eat it. So
yeah, I got a few few pounds of shrimp in their freezer. My neighbor.
I'm having my surgery the 26th, so I can't have any of the liquid.
Oh. What's the surgery?
Gastric sleeve.
Okay.
Tired of being fat.
Oh, hey. You got to be strict with yourself. You got to stick with it.
Yep.
But yeah, good luck with that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm putting on weight. I'm telling Stevie we're going to be going on a diet soon. I mean, she can do what she wants, but I ain't cooking.
Yeah. I'm good. I'm picking
Both
up.
you guys look so thin. What are you saying?
No,
Yeah. Not so much.
I wear all my weight probably the same place that Tex wears.
My belly.
Where is it? Right in the belly.
That's where I got mine.
Oh, in my belly.
I don't even own a scale, so I don't.
Yeah, I'm glad he doesn't own a scale.
Right
Not
Don't
missing.
want to, huh? I don't. Oh Lord.
Anyway, yeah, we're a little over 2 hours. Probably get out of here.
Doesn't even feel like it.
I know that went pretty quick,
It
and
did.
I didn't. Please, guys, don't think I just the whole thing with Joe passing is sad.
Yeah.
Deflating. I mean, it really is. You know?
It
Yeah.
is.
I just wanted to keep the show going and not, bring everybody down. It's, more than they already are. But yeah, Tex, it was great to see you, man.
Hey, you too, man.
Don't be a stranger.
Gotta hang out more often.
Well, my schedule's changed, so I'm kind of back. I'm back to where I was when we were seeing each other a lot about a year or so ago.
Yeah.
So I'm back to that schedule. So we're good.
Good.
Right on.
Dookie.
And Susie's the new kid on the block.
Right.
She likes to hang out.
Oh yeah, Knack was on my show the other night. Man, I'm telling you, people loved it. He's like, oh, I'm surprised. I got all. Loved it, man. Loved it.
Maya. Hi.
Now, who was that?
North Alabama Cryptid, Mr. and Mrs. Knack.
Oh, okay, David.
Yeah, he was on my show the other night.
Yeah,
Oh, very good.
they're good
Good
people.
people. Yeah.
They're good people.
Yeah, they are.
They showed me around northern Alabama when I was out that way.
Nice.
Yeah, very cool people.
Yeah, and midnight. I do that every time. Midwest Night Watchers.
Yeah, him and his wife. They're very cool. They stopped by the other day.
She was in chat.
Yep.
In chat.
She is. She's right here. She's still in chat. Chiro.
There you go.
Duke just popped in.
Yeah, I
Late,
saw a girl. Yeah, girl over there too. Somewhere. Lurking around somewhere.
Who's that?
Girl.
Yeah, I did see him somewhere.
I didn't. I was scrolling back, but I haven't really.
Midwest? No, he was here.
I haven't been on top of chat tonight.
You're slacking.
I am always.
But yeah, we're gonna get out of here. Again, Tex, we'll see you soon. And thanks again, man.
Yeah, definitely good to
Good to
see
see you, Tex.
Hey, good to see y'all, man.
Good to
Glad
see
I
you
finally
too,
got a chance
Lance
to
and
stop
Steve.
and say hi.
I appreciate it.
Good to see you, Susie.
I'm glad you did.
Hell, I'll be back. Don't worry about it.
All right, man. Talk to you soon.
Take care, guys.
Susie.
Yes. Thank you.
Great to see you.
Have a good night.
You too. Thank you.
Oh, you giggles. I see.
It's too funny. Well, I hope you guys had a good time tonight. Unfortunately, we had to share that unfortunate news
Prayers
about
to,
Joe.
to Molly.
Yes.
Again, and the family. I'm so sorry.
Wow. Everybody hang in there. If you like the show, please hit that like button below. If you're new, subscribe. A lot of new faces in here tonight. Mike, LIB, thank you so much for your room raid.
Murray, so good to see you.
Absolutely. Don't be a stranger, Murray.
Keep in touch.
And Tex, as always, it's good to see you. They had some good rock and Night Watchers last night. Right on. Yeah, I'm new to that channel, Duke. Just started watching them. But definitely I'll be watching them more in the future.
Right.
All right, guys. We will be back on Thursday. You guys hang in there. All right. Take care of one another. Take care of yourselves. And peace and God bless.